After my son was diagnosed with advanced cancer, I was extremely anxious and cried all day long. He quit his job and stayed at home to recuperate. His daughter-in-law took care of him full-time, and I gave him lots of money and let him squander it. After all, as a mother, I can only hope that he can leave without regrets. But I didn't expect that the day I transferred 100,000 yuan to my son, I turned around and heard his conversation with his daughter-in-law. "Hubby, this trick of yours really works. Ever since you lied to Mom that you had cancer, she's been giving you her heart and soul. Once we've swindled all her money, well, kick her out and leave her to die on the street." The son was very proud. "That's right. In the end, it's because the old lady lived too long. Otherwise the money would have been mine long ago. Why would I have to pretend like this?" I snorted coldly. "If that's the case, don't blame me for being too cruel." Half a month ago, the news that my son Arlo was diagnosed with terminal cancer hit me hard. He lowered his head, already extremely sad, but still forced a smile to comfort me. "Mom, the cancer is already in the late stage. There is no need for treatment. Just let it be. Don't cry. It will hurt me if you cry." My daughter-in-law Ren was crying so hard that she almost fainted. I held Arlo's medical record in my hand shaking uncontrollably, and I couldn't express the bitterness and helplessness in my heart. I have already experienced the pain of losing my husband in middle age, so why can't I have a family with many children and grandchildren and enjoy my old age in peace? I didn't believe it. "Don't give up on yourself. Mom will contact you the best hospital and the best doctor right now. No matter how much it costs, I will bring you back from the brink of death." Arlo's face. But he didn't say anything. He just looked at me silently with red eyes. Ren's eyes darted around and he said, "Mom, stop doing that useless work. What's the difference between terminal cancer and a death sentence? You don't need to waste money on Arlo. As Arlo's closest relatives, why don't we accompany him through the last part of his life? It's better than letting him suffer through chemotherapy." "Right, you can't be so selfish. You have to consider Arlo's feelings." Arlo nodded in agreement. Arlo agreed. What else can I say? Furthermore, although Ren's words were not so nice to hear, they were also undeniable facts. Now that things have come to this, what else can I do except let him go without any regrets? So, from that day on, Arlo quit his job and stayed at home to recuperate. My daughter-in-law took care of his daily life full-time, and I spent a lot of money on him and let him squander it. In just 1 month, he had already taken 700,000 or 800,000 yuan from me and took Ren on trips all over the place, including Africa, Europe, and the Arctic Circle. We went to every place we could. I have no objection to this, but I couldn't help but worry. I waited so long for them to return home, and couldn't help but say, "No matter what, you have to take care of your health. It's not that I don't want you to go traveling, but Arlo is a terminal cancer patient and he should rest well. Overwork will inevitably worsen his condition." Ren heard what I said. He immediately put his hands on his hips and looked at me with disgust. "Mom, you are not reluctant to spend money, are you? As far as I know, Arlo's father left you a lot of inheritance before he died. What is 700,000 or 800,000 to you? Are you reluctant to spend it on Arlo? You can earn money again if you lose it, but you can never find a person again if he is gone. Besides, Arlo is already a terminally ill cancer patient, and his condition is out of control. Why do you have to force your will on him?" Ren's words are rough, but his logic is valid and I understand the reasoning. But I really couldn't bear it, and they didn't want me to go with them on their overseas trip. I hesitated out of selfishness. "Son, how about I go with you on the overseas trip? At least I can take care of you." Arlo had a straight face and a stiff tone. "Mom, I don't have many days left to live. Just let me do whatever I want, as long as the money is in place. You are so old, why are you trying to get involved? But I want to accompany you through the last part of your life." "Okay." Arlo didn't get a positive answer from me, and immediately became angry and picked up the water cup on the table and smashed it to the ground. "You don't understand what I'm saying, right? I told you to stop bothering me. Why are you being so annoying? If you don't give me money, don't blame me for not recognizing you as my mother." Arlo's sudden anger left me at a loss and I had no idea what I had said wrong. That night, I couldn't sleep because of Arlo's accusations. After thinking it over, I decided to transfer 100,000 yuan to him and apologize to him in person. As soon as I walked outside their room, I heard his conversation with his daughter-in-law. Honey, this trick of yours really works. Ever since she lied to the old lady that you had cancer, she has been giving you her heart and soul. Once we've swindled all her money, well, kick her out and leave her to die on the street. What? I paused as I was about to open the door. The son was very proud. Is your husband smart? Although the cancer is fake, it is true that my mother was willing to give me the money. In the end, it's because the old woman lived too long. Otherwise the money would have been mine long ago. Why would I have to pretend like this? Ren snorted in dissatisfaction. We were being polite by not doing anything to her. I feel sick every time I see her face. Honey, I really can't stand it any longer. I hesitated and stumbled to the ground, feeling mixed emotions of sadness and joy at the same time, not knowing how to face the truth. Obviously the story about Arlo having terminal cancer was fake. I kneel day and night and beg God for mercy, but what about him? For money, he lied to me that he had terminal cancer and even threatened to cheat me out of all my money and drive me out to sleep on the street. He also called me an old fool. Did he want me to die? Thinking of this, I suddenly couldn't help dry heaving and felt cold and nauseous all over. When did my son, whom I held in my hands for fear of dropping him, and held in my mouth for fear of melting, start to rot? My husband and I had always had a good relationship, but unfortunately when I was 35 my husband died of cancer. Arlo was only 5 years old at that time. I raised him alone and did everything by myself. I almost gave him my whole heart. He never let me down. He always said that he wanted to make a lot of money and be filial to me. It was not until after he got married that he accidentally found out that I had more than 10 million in cash assets. He was completely shocked and immediately started to find fault with me. Our family is so rich. Why didn't you let me live a good life since I was a child? Do you think you are worthy of me? Ren not try to stop the fight. He also fanned the flames. That's right, Mom. You're not going to secretly save this money for yourself without telling us, are you? That's the money left by Arlo's father. It should be inherited by Arlo. Don't be so shameless and want to take everything for yourself. I tried to communicate with them calmly. More than 10 million is not a lot. And this money was earned by my mother when she opened the factory. How many times do you want me to tell you before you understand? Also, I give you and Ren 20,000 each for living expenses every month. Isn't that enough? In your opinion, what kind of life is considered a good life? Arlo and Ren were not convinced and kept crying and begging me to transfer all the more than 10 million to their names. However, I was determined and would not give in at all, so they could only accept it reluctantly. But I didn't expect that within just a few months they would set their sights on the money again, and even took advantage of my maternal love and kindness, using the damn excuse of terminal cancer to deceive me. Do you really take me for a fool? Being a mother always makes me soft-hearted. Even though I had begun to be disappointed with Arlo, I still couldn't help but give him a chance and began to reflect on myself. Was I too strict with him? Or was the 20,000 yuan pocket money I gave him every month too little? I sat on the cold floor until dawn, but I couldn't help knocking on Arlo's door and said to him in a very guiding way, "Son, you have been traveling for so long this time, and you look much better. I have an idea. Is your cancer misdiagnosed? Do you want me to contact a doctor for you? It's okay. Even if you did something wrong, Mom will choose to forgive you. I don't need him to admit his mistake to me. I just hope he can come down the stairs. But my hope is just wishful thinking after all." Arlo hesitated, obviously aware of the doubt in my words, and quickly changed the subject. "Mom, I know you still can't accept the fact that I'm in the late stage of cancer, but I have to tell you cruelly that you should stop having those insignificant fantasies. I've let it go. Since my life has come to an end, I might as well enjoy the rest of my life. What do you think? So transfer another 500,000 to me. I want to take Ren to Norway for a 2-day trip." Ren sat aside, looking a little pale. "Yes, Mom, you can't force Arlo. You have to ask his own opinion. Since he doesn't want to be treated, why force him? As long as the money is in place, that's fine. Money, money, money. The only thing in the eyes of this couple is money." I smiled and held my son's hand. "Why not treat it if it can be treated? Don't worry. Mom will bring you back from the brink of death, no matter how much it costs." Arlo interrupted me with a sullen face. "Mom, please shut up. Don't you understand what people are saying? I've already told you I can't be cured. Do you really want me to be restless at the last moment of my life?" Ren echoed sarcastically. "That's right, Mom. You're not feeling sorry for the money, are you? I've told you so many times that you can earn money again if you lose it. Why don't you understand? I stared at Arlo and said, if you don't go for follow-up visits and get treatment, I won't give you a penny from now on. Just wait and see. Sure enough, the next second, Arlo's eyes immediately turned red, and he looked at me with a wronged look, trying to blackmail me morally. Mom, since you don't want to respect my opinion, what can I say? If you want me to heal you, then I will heal you. After saying this, tears began to fall from his eyes and he looked so pitiful, but my heart had long been numb. This moment, all I had left was endless disappointment in him. Even the tears I shed after learning that he was in the late stage of cancer, and the kowtow I made when I begged the heavens seemed like a joke. We are obviously mother and son connected by blood. Why are you playing tricks on me like this? Before leaving their room, I deliberately threw the spare phone to the ground and kicked it under the bed, while they were not paying attention so I could hear their conversation smoothly. Ren's voice was filled with a hint of anxiety. Hubby, the old man won't find out our secret, right? It would be terrible if she found out that your terminal cancer was fake. What if she just stopped paying us? Wouldn't our performance during this period be in vain? Ren began to pace the room non-stop, and soon began to stamp his feet. Also, why did you agree to go for a checkup? Are you planning to just give up? Ren, don't be impatient. Arlo sighed. Although it is undeniable that my mother is a smart woman, this matter concerns my life. She is so anxious that she can't think too much. She keeps forcing me to get checked. I guess she doesn't want to see me die. Don't worry, if I don't agree to her, she will never let it go. As for the checkup, as long as I keep putting it off, there's nothing she can do to me. Ren was a little hesitant, but it's not a good idea to keep pretending like this. We can't just let this old immortal manipulate us forever. Besides, the old man should have died a long time ago. That money was clearly left to you by your father. Why did she take it for herself? If it weren't for her, we wouldn't have to act out such a drama and worry so much. Why don't you just buy some rat poison and poison her to death? Funny, Arlo didn't refute Ren's proposal but fell silent. After a while, Arlo sighed. That's too obvious. We have to take it step by step. Take it step by step. My son actually wanted to kill me. My eyes widened unconsciously, my chest filled with disappointment and shock. My whole body seemed to be frozen by a sudden cold wave. Even my hands hung limply at both sides of my body. All my strength was drained away in an instant. I could only breathe deeply to calm myself. In their eyes, I was a fat sheep to be slaughtered at will. All the family affection was fake. It was ridiculous. A man is innocent unless he is in possession of a treasure. My son and my daughter-in-law will do anything for money. Very well, since they chose to deceive, don't blame me for being ruthless. I want to let them know that without the constraints of family ties I can do anything. Arlo and Ren to the boxing gym under the pretext of doing a checkup. Arlo and Ren were obviously confused and looked at me in shock. Mom, why did you bring me to this place? Aren't we going to get checked? What problems can the boxing gym reveal? Arlo looked at me with a puzzled look. I lowered my head and pretended to choke up, interrupting Arlo's words. Isn't cancer in the late stage confirmed? What else is there to check? Mom heard a folk remedy a few days ago, saying that if you do boxing whenever you have time, you can kill the cancer cells and there will definitely be no recurrence within 3 to 5 years. Arlo opened his mouth and looked embarrassed. Mom, what are you talking about? Why don't I understand? No, you should give me more money now so that I don't have any regrets. What's the point of boxing? If you don't listen to me, I won't give you a penny. Arlo was a little reluctant at first, but when he heard me threaten him with money, he immediately hesitated and didn't dare to say a word. I looked at him, clapped my hands and asked the 2-meter-tall 200-pound boxing coach to put boxing gloves on Arlo and drag him onto the boxing ring. At my signal, the boxing coach threw a left hook directly at Arlo's face before he could get ready. Before he could react, the coach kicked Arlo in the chest, grabbed his collar, and slapped him hard twice. Arlo had no power to fight back and kept shouting for mercy, but it was of no use. The boxing coach ignored him and punched him in the eyes twice, locked his throat with one hand and slapped him with the other hand. Without mercy, each move is extremely painful but does not hit any vital parts. Arlo was beaten unilaterally for more than 10 minutes, and finally he couldn't hold on any longer. He knelt on the boxing ring in a daze, unable to even stand steadily. He looked at me with his black eyes and asked me for help. Mom, what are you doing? Didn't you say you were going to cure my cancer? The man has been beaten to death. Why bother with treatment? Ren was so anxious that he was circling around me. Li Chunlan, you old fool. What on earth are you going to do? He's your own son. How could you have the heart to kill him? Arlo yelled. If you beat me to death, you will have no son. No one will be able to take care of you for the rest of your life. The rest of your life. I looked at him with a scrutinizing look. You are already in the advanced stage of cancer. What is the rest of your life? Could it be that you don't have cancer and are just lying to me? Arlo, no matter what, I'm doing this for your own good. You must listen to me. Seeing the self-righteous expression on Arlo's face disappear in an instant, I sneered twice, waved my hand and asked the boxing coach to drag him in front of me. I kicked him with my toes and confirmed that he had been beaten to the point of being unable to move. I ignored Ren's screams and smiled at Arlo. Arlo, your cancer cells must have been killed. If you live a few more days, you must thank your mother in the future. Understand, Arlo doesn't resent me. How could he possibly thank me? After all, both his hands and feet were broken. When he was sent to the hospital, he had fainted from the pain and slept for 3 or 4 hours before waking up. As soon as I saw him drowsily open his eyes, I quickly took out a thermos cup from my bag, carefully fed him the medicine inside, and said to him gently, Junjun, this is the medicine that your mother carefully prepared for you. It will be very helpful for the cancer cells in your body. Arlo was stunned, his eyes full of suspicion. Mom, what is this potion? Ren stood aside, and after exchanging glances with Arlo, he immediately rushed to me and yelled at me, get out of here. You don't have any fucking remedies at all. You old women are just looking at some harmful stuff on the internet. Don't even think about cheating my husband. I slapped Ren in the face and said, you jinx. If you hadn't married my son and brought him bad luck, would he have become like this now? I've done everything I can to cure his cancer. What about you? Everything you do makes me doubt that Arlo doesn't have cancer at all. Soon as these words came out, Ren was speechless. I pretended to sob and said, Junjun, you are my only child. As long as you listen to me and get treatment, I will give you any amount of money you want. Arlo with red and swollen eyes. Sure enough, he took my thermos cup of medicine with a stern face and drank it all in one gulp. Then 10 minutes later, Arlo's stomach started growling. He got a weird look on his face and then he suddenly and uncontrollably defecated all over the bed. Arlo screamed, ah, what happened to me? Why does my stomach hurt so much? I didn't even want to poop. Mom, help me to the toilet. I'm going to poop again. What can I do? After all, I gave him a strong laxative. It would be strange if he didn't poop in the bed. I covered my nose and watched Arlo lying in the bed in a mess, pouting but not intending to care about him. Ren was no better than me. She stood aside sullenly, with a look of disgust on her face. She even took 2 steps back, covered her nose, and smiled at Arlo. Brother June, how about we ask Mom to find you a caregiver? You're so uncontrollable. What can we do? Arlo has always been very proud. Seeing that Ren refused to help him, he could only look at me with painful eyes. Mom, I beg you, please help me deal with it quickly. Okay, I really can't keep pooping on the bed. Seeing him like this, the haze in my heart slowly dissipated a little. To be honest, even if I make him lie on the hospital bed and poop without any dignity, what does it matter? But they were just harmless little pranks. Compared with his deception, my little tricks were nothing. There was nothing much to say. If I had known this would be the outcome, I would rather have never given birth to this son. Besides, I had gotten angry enough and was too lazy to continue playing this childish game with them. I took a deep breath and tried to control my emotions. As if I was treating a stranger, I raised my eyebrows and said, Arlo, from now on, we will sever our mother-son relationship. No matter what you want to do, it has nothing to do with me anymore. Arlo heard what I said. He got emotional and uncontrollably defecated on the bed. He covered his nose, stared at me in disbelief, and said, what are you talking about? Mom, I'm a terminally ill cancer patient. How could you bear to leave me alone? Ren was even more agitated than him. He glared at me and raised his middle finger at me. You old bastard, do you know what you are talking about? Damn it, your son is in the terminal stage of cancer, and you still want to cut off ties with him? Do you have any shame? Arlo sighed and shook his head at me. Mom, shut up. I interrupted him, not knowing what he was going to say and too lazy to listen to his high-sounding and hypocritical lies. If I hadn't discovered the truth, I would have continued to transfer money to them foolishly until every last bit of value was squeezed out of them, and I would have even died with regrets. But now that I know the truth, I am filled with nothing but disgust and anger towards this so-called biological son. I calmly said, Arlo, have you had enough of pretending? Is it fun to lie to me? Don't you feel guilty for making up such a clumsy lie for money? Is there anything else you can't do? I looked at them coldly. Do you have any shame? Why, didn't you expect me to know the truth? If you don't want others to know, then don't do it. Since you dare to do it, why are you afraid that I will know? Oh, you're probably afraid that after I know the truth, I'll never give you money again. Right, you guessed it right. From now on, I won't give you a penny. Just fend for yourself. Arlo's face showed shock and disbelief, and it was obvious that he had never expected that I would know the truth. You fucking knew that. Arlo looked at the filth he had defecated on the bed. His eyes red, and he screamed, You fucking let the boxing coach beat me on purpose. Those medicines just now were laxatives. Right, you fucking old bitch. You have no shame. When the time came, even if he couldn't believe it anymore, he could only give up and show his true greed. Why do you treat me like this? How can there be a mother like you in this world? If anything happens to me, you'll be the murderer. I didn't show any expression. I just frowned at him. So, Arlo yelled, Yes, we lied to you. So what? Can you blame us? It's you, the old man, who occupied the inheritance my father gave me and didn't give it to me. You are allowed to be shameless, but I am not allowed to lie to you. Why? How can this be justified in the world? Compared to you, I am more pitiful. Right. This is the money my father left me, but I can only get it this way. Don't you feel guilty? Ren supported Arlo from the side. Shameless old bitch. You have to give us all the money. Otherwise we won't let you go. And we're severing ties with you. Who are you threatening? You are in your 60s and you have cut off relations with your son and daughter-in-law. You will definitely become the laughingstock of everyone. That's ridiculous. I have been deceived by them. Am I not a laughingstock? So what if I have no descendants? You are such a lowly person. You are not worthy of being my son. I said this simply and turned to leave the hospital. Unexpectedly, Ren suddenly rushed towards me, screaming. She threw me to the ground, grabbed my neck like crazy, and slapped me with her other hand. You bitch, are you going to give us money or not? You old bastard. Why don't you just die soon? I did not show weakness. I gathered all my strength and started to wrestle with Ren. However, I was old after all, and my physical strength was no match for Ren, who was in her prime. In less than a few minutes, she had the upper hand. She pulled my hair triumphantly and threatened, If you don't give us money, I will beat you to death right now. If you don't pay, this day next year will be your death day. Arlo was lying on a bed of filth, and snorted coldly, You have embarrassed me to such an extent, but I don't have a mother like you. Hurry up and give me the money that belongs to me. I spat on Ren's face. Get off me. Ren was irritated by me. She rode on me regardless, holding my neck tightly with both hands, glaring at me with gritted teeth. If I don't kill you, imminently. Her eyes were full of resentment. As long as you die, I can live a good life with Arlo. You are a troublesome old man. You shouldn't be alive. I refused to give in and stared at her. Even if I die, the money belongs to Arlo and has nothing to do with you. But if you really kill me now, you will go to jail. Ren, you can't be that stupid. Stupid. I'd be really stupid if I didn't kill you. I kept protesting. I'll give you money. I'll give you a person. I'll make sure you don't need Arlo for the rest of your life and you'll have enough food and clothing. What? Ren's expression relaxed. Don't you dare try to fool me. I was exhausted from being tortured by Ren. I had no strength to resist. I could only lie on the ground and watch her strangle me tightly. Who kicked me? Get out of here. Ren was kicked to the ground by the police, who suddenly appeared in the ward, and then he whimpered in pain. They are the people closest to me. How could I not know who they are? I called the police long before I decided to confront Arlo. The reason why I talked so much nonsense with them was to delay time and wait for the police to arrive. Ren was arrested by the police. His eyes were filled with resentment. You old bitch. Why do you treat us like this? Do you feel comfortable with that money? Why are you arresting me? You have no shame. Watching Ren struggling and screaming helplessly, I felt nothing in my heart. Everyone must pay the price for their actions. Besides, I am not a good person. I don't even want my son. So how can I sympathize with this so-called daughter-in-law? Ren committed attempted murder. Unless I sign a letter of apology, she will be prosecuted and held legally responsible. Ren was in the detention center, Arlo bombarded me with phone calls. First, his tone was harsh, trying to control me. After I turned him down several times, he lost his confidence and softened his attitude when he spoke to me. 2 days before the trial, I received another call from Arlo. He hesitated. "Mom, I know it was my fault for lying to you, but in the end I was just bewildered for a moment. I only cheated you of some money and didn't do anything against the law. Besides, that money was the inheritance my father left me." He spoke more and more confidently, and his voice became louder. "Mom, why did you do this to me? After all, isn't it your fault? If you hadn't monopolized the money and didn't give it to me, how could we have resorted to such a desperate measure? Ren was just in a hurry. She didn't mean to do anything to you." Arlo's sophistry did not calm my anger. Instead, it made me roll my eyes. I snorted coldly. "What do you want to do to me?" I imitated Arlo's tone and said, "After we cheat her out of all her money, we will kick her out and let her sleep on the street and fend for herself. Didn't you say that? Also, when Ren said she wanted to poison me with rat poison, didn't you say anything but let her do it slowly?" I said word by word, "You have never respected me from the beginning to the end, and you even planned to let me die a long time ago. Now you still have the nerve to say that you don't want to do anything to me. Do you have any shame?" Arlo was speechless for a moment, and after a pause he continued to argue. "So, Mom, I beg you to die. Okay, can you please kill yourself quickly? Remember to send me a message when you do so, and I will make sure to find you the best grave. People like you waste air when alive and wasteland when dead. You don't deserve to be in front of me, let alone be my mother. You have ruined my life and my family. I hate you." Listening to his heart-wrenching cries on the phone, it would be a lie to say I wasn't sad, but that was all my emotion. After all, Arlo and I had nothing to do with each other anymore, so why should I care about a stranger's opinion? I said calmly, "It's not me who ruined your life, but you yourself." On the other end of the phone, Arlo said fiercely, "Just wait, you destroyed my Ren, and I will destroy you too." I didn't take Arlo's harsh words to heart, but it turned out that I was too rash. Ren's South case went to court that day, and I drove there alone, but before I had driven a few kilometers, I suddenly realized that my car had no way of braking, and I couldn't even slow down. My brakes are not working. I was immediately frightened and broke out in a cold sweat, shaking all over. I didn't have time to think about it. I could only try my best to control my emotions and drive the car to the deserted suburbs, and free up my hands to call the traffic police and ask for help. While waiting for the traffic police to arrive, I let my car race forward and held the steering wheel tightly, but it was no use. Not only did the condition of the car not improve, but it became more and more out of control, and I couldn't even turn the steering wheel. I could only watch my car crash into the guardrail on the side of the road. When I woke up again, it was already early the next morning. Although I had such a car accident, except for the broken left hand, I didn't have any other injuries, which was a blessing in disguise. Moreover, the car accident was a legitimate reason and the court would not withdraw the case. I was lying on the hospital bed, feeling thankful that such a car accident couldn't kill me. So what else in the world could stop me from moving forward? But I still feel that something is wrong. Not to mention that my car is worth $1 million and has excellent performance. The car just passed its annual inspection 2 days ago. How could it suddenly break down? Ren heard what I said. He immediately put his hands on his hips and looked at me with disgust. "Mom, you are not reluctant to spend money, are you? As far as I know, Arlo's father left you a lot of inheritance before he died. What is 700,000 or 800,000 to you? Are you reluctant to spend it on Arlo? When die? Why should I die? Or to put it another way, you knew I was going to die. Arlo, after all, I have raised you for more than 20 years. Can you really be so cruel?" He hesitated. "What does it have to do with me? It was because you were angry and didn't show up for the trial that I couldn't help but ask others about it and found out that you had a car accident. Don't put everything on me." After saying that, he hung up the phone. I was just skeptical at first, but now I am certain that Arlo is related to my car accident. I immediately contacted the police to report the case, put forward my opinion and request an investigation. Sure enough, the police investigation results were the same as I expected. The car accident was caused by human factors. The police explained the results of the investigation to me. Arlo was quite cautious. He avoided all surveillance when he entered the parking lot to damage the brakes, and did not leave any fingerprints. However, once a crime is committed, it is impossible not to leave clues. Due to a slight mistake, he was captured by the dashcam of another car in the parking lot. In the dashcam, Arlo easily opened my car door and hood with the spare key and fiddled with it for nearly half an hour before he hurriedly limped out of the parking lot. Despite the irrefutable evidence, Arlo still refused to admit what he had done. Instead, he pushed all the blame onto me, venting his anger at me. So what if I really killed you? In the end, I didn't lose to you at all. I just lost to luck. I wish you had been killed in a car accident. Are you my mother? Even if I destroyed your brakes. So what? Shouldn't you protect me because you love me? Why did you report this to the police? It's not enough that you've killed Ren. Are you going to put me in jail now? Arlo, a long time ago. Although I still have some motherly affection for him in my heart, I am not very sad about what has happened so far. It's just that I lost a son. I still have a long life to live and countless things to do. I can travel, read books, spend my money and enjoy my life. Why should I feel sympathy for such an ungrateful person? Why should I waste my feelings on him? I looked at him coldly and said calmly, I have never done anything wrong to you. I have told you many times that the money is my personal property and has nothing to do with your deceased father. Even if I am your mother, you have no right to possess the money in my pocket. Secondly, you have no right to say that I ruined your and Ren's lives. Did I put a knife to your neck and force you to destroy my brakes? Did I force Ren to strangle me to death? I will file a lawsuit against you for what you did. What happens to you has nothing to do with me. After saying that, I turned and left. Arlo continued to insult me with vulgar language behind me, and even tried to rush up and hit me, but his struggle was in vain because he was. Due to the serious nature of Arlo and Ren's cases, their cases went to trial separately within less than 2 months. Arlo was sentenced to 13 years in prison for attempted murder, while Ren was sentenced to 10 years in prison for attempted murder. Of course, I was happy about their imprisonment. After all, I was finally free from them and could finally start enjoying my brilliant life.